G'day guys, it's Rowan from Ferguson Brothers Rail. In this video today we're going to create ourselves a challenge. Now the challenge is to download things from the internet that we can print on the 3D resin printer and create some kind of a story out of it. Now everything we find on the internet is going to be for free, and we're going to put that together with some other techniques like some scratch building, some artificial rock making. We're going to put it all together and create a vertical diorama, something that goes up instead of across. That'll create a little bit of visual interest, give us a bit of a challenge, and take up less space on the shelf. Let's jump in. The majority of this model will be XPS foam, but to keep it solid, we're starting with a wooden frame that the foam will glue onto. The wooden parts will form the base and the back of the model, with some extra woody bulk at the bottom for a thicker gluing surface. A small creek will cut through the bottom of the scene, so we're using Sculptamold to soften the edges where the riverbed meets the rock. Next step is gluing some XPS foam together to form the rock structure. After scratching the gluing surfaces, we use Gorilla Glue with a spray of water to activate the adhesion. Once that dries, it's time to start sculpting. I've got a video on making rock with XPS, so check out the link if you want to see that in detail. I'm trying to maintain a natural cutting angle and doing what I can to hide the glue lines. Then I poke it with a stiff brush, which adds extra texture to the surface. We don't want this looking too grey, so after a light grey base coat, we're adding splotches of warm earthy colours. It's a pretty loose process, and you can keep layering until you're happy. I'm flicking stipples of white on, then dry brushing the edges that would receive more sunlight. I make a wash with black, green, isopropyl and a little bit of Mod Podge matte. It's all mixed up and applied with a spray bottle. Then I dab the excess off, mostly from the flatter areas. After this, I paint more dark paint into the deeper crevices, then let it run down with gravity to create streaks. The final step is sprinkling some fine turf over patches of Mod Podge matte to add some mossy life to the rock. The Mod Podge matte is excellent stuff because it's invisible when it dries. Well, suddenly we've got a tree here now. I decided to jump forward a bit because I made another video that I published on how I made this rainforest style tree. So if you want to see that in more detail, check out the channel. I'll put a link in the description. Here's a couple of quick highlights on the tree build. Basically, I bulked out a wire armature, glued a heap of toilet paper to it, then painted it and added texture to the branches. It's a weird shape because I wanted to maintain a tall box shape for the diorama. I used some nails to make mushrooms and added some landform around the base of the tree. As I mentioned at the start, all the 3D models for this build I've been able to find for free on various 3D printing websites. This was a fun challenge and a learning experience in figuring out which models are reliable for printing. Some websites give you an indication of which models are safe for printing, which is handy as there's a lot of junk or models created for animation, not 3D printing. I'm not going to talk about the printing process because this video would go too long. Basically, after I've printed, I prime all the models with Rust-Oleum primer and then paint it with a range of modelling paints. Just thought I'd show you this cabinet I made for my 3D printer. It's got this hose that comes out of an extraction fan, plugs into this, and that sits in the window so I can suck all the fumes out. And these doors close while it's running, so all the fumes go up through the fan and outside. The story behind our diorama is that a dad and his son have built a little cottage up on top of the rocky mountain. The cottage is just big enough to fit a small kitchen, a fireplace and a bunk bed. Based on those requirements, I started with a 3D printed door, then built a box around it with MDF. Check out the fine detail on this 3D printed sash window. You can even choose how open you'd like it to be. I believe if you mix organic shapes with straight shapes, like lengths of styrene, you get a more interesting finish. Some of the structures I see people build are all organic, and I reckon they just end up looking a bit too blobby. So I'm using styrene for the straight door frame, and I'll do the same for the veranda posts. Cut out a stack of little rocks using XPS foam. They're all a bit random to give the final finish a rustic look, as if the father and son built it themselves. We shook the little bricks up with rocks for about 5 minutes to round the edges. A glass jar is good because you can inspect the edges to see if they're round enough. I made a batch of long and a batch of short. The short ones are really useful for filling in odd gaps. It ended up being easiest just to dip each one in PVA glue, then slide them into place. To make a grout, I've mixed up a heap of stuff. To make it a bit thicker, I've added some talc powder to ensure most of the gaps between the rocks are filled. Once that's dry, I'm using a range of warm colours to paint random stones. It'll all be covered with a wash to bring all the colours together. I add a subtle green wash too to key this cottage in with the mossy rocks below. The floorboards are a flat pack of modelling timber I bought a while ago, which come in handy. For aged timber, I usually start with 2 coats of black wash, followed by a carefully applied white. Sometimes I'll go back in with another wash to darken the cracks. Now I'm adding a range of details, some oxy cylinders and some firewood. I printed some fire to go in the 44-gallon drum. I painted it red, orange and yellow and finished with clear gloss. To get stuff up onto this rock ledge, you'd need some kind of mechanical help. So we're going to put a little jib crane on the edge of the rock with a winch just like this. And then found this cheap chain from a dollar shop. It's the smallest chain we could find that looks somewhat like link. So we're going to paint this black, add some rust effects and see if it looks any good. Now I admit I did have to cheat once with the 3D models. Just couldn't find a winch anywhere, so I made one in Blender on the computer. If you're interested, I'll do a video tutorial on some basic Blender stuff, but it's just one small detail. Melamine makes a good dam wall as it tends to come away fairly easily from the resin. I brush a mould release agent as well, but I usually forget that and the melamine still pulls away. If there's any gaps, the resin will find them, so I'll go around with gap filler to be certain. For the resin pour, I'm using a 2-part epoxy. This is a deep pour mix that I use for furniture projects on my other channel. These are sample packs, pigments that come in like a pack of 15 or something. They're really handy for small projects and they go quite a long distance. So we've got a couple of different blue options here. Which one do you reckon is going to be the best?
Oh, probably that one, because the blue-green, because the water's not as deep, so it won't be as like dark blue.
Okay.
And it's a bit lighter, so.
It's kind of a nice colour too, isn't it? It's a bit of metallic sort of in it as well.
That one looks more like the ocean.
Okay, let's go with the blue-green. Get rid of these two. Start by adding just a little bit. You want the water to be see-through, you don't want it to be completely opaque. Just want to give it a bit of a colour tinge. That's probably enough to start with. Let's see how we go. Right, I'm just going to decant this into a second cup. And then give it another quick stir, then we'll pour it. Okay, let's pour this. Hopefully it doesn't leak everywhere.
Don't hit the boat.
Maybe we need to do a bit more, but we'll see. We blew the bubbles away with a drinking straw and left the resin for 3 days. All the details are glued in place now. I hid some of the glossy superglue marks with cement dust. The winch was really fiddly, but the extra detail helps people form their own story when they observe the model from the river all the way up above the tree canopy. Well, that was a bit of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave some comments if you liked it and you want to see more like that, and please subscribe. Next video, we're going back to trains. I'm going to do a bit of a walkthrough on the layout room and show you how I built the bench work with no legs. It's all suspended off the walls. Stay tuned. See you soon.